Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stealth Archer playthrough. If you're here, this is the second part. It was so much fun, and quite frankly, Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, needs a proper challenge. Those of you who guessed the mantle in the previous video, well done. We've also sided with the Brotherhood of Steel, and we got to the point where we can think about taking on Nuka World. So continue off the previous video. Today we go one step further and do a part 2 and take the fight to Nuka World. Now, unlike part 1, we can dive straight on in, and the rules are very simple. We have to use a bow and arrow, we're playing on survival difficulty, and no cheating, but we're using the Lstring mod to use bows in Fallout 4. Link in the description down below. Other than that, we're free to do whatever we wish really, and all we have to do is take out the Mechanist and then move on to Nuka World however we see fit. And without further ado, let's go down the elevator, say farewell to Maxon, and go seek medical attention. So after Nightcade gets us back to full strength, we go ahead and see Elder Maxon and Captain Kells. They decide to promote us to Sentinel, allowing us to do whatever we wish, allowing us to take out own missions as we see fit. Also, major spoiler warning, if you haven't seen part 1, this promotions mean we've done the main story in part 1, and we have a lot of level ups as well. So with our 3 level ups, we go for the following: Rifleman rank 4, giving a lot of extra damage right there. Iron Fist rank 3 for a little later on, and Nuclear Physicist rank 2, so things are moving forwards in an excellent manner right off the bat. Our main goal is to stop the reinforcements, so it's time we go to Nuka World. However, we have a distress call, and it wouldn't be very good if we ignored it. So we start the Mechanical Menace quest, since the Mechanist would be a worthy adversary, and of course, we can't ignore murder robots, so it falls to us to do our job as a Sentinel/Avenger. We see a robot skirmish, and a robot called Ada is the only one alive in the area, and they say that everyone's dead. So after a brief discussion and Ada agreeing with us, we have our first superhero team up, a robot and an archer from a different dimension of sorts, I guess. So our first lead, we go to our first location, a General Atomics factory with a robo brain inside. It's extremely tough, and the fight here is very dicey, because as soon as we're out in the open, these robots can just one-shot us, almost killing us instantly. So we have to rely on stealth tactics more than ever. As you all know, stealth tactics are super overpowered, but one mistake and we're done. So one by one, robot by robot, room by room, we find a gap in the ceiling and one-shot the robo brain with an explosive arrow. We grab the Mechanist technology and it's off to then go see Ada. After a brief discussion, it's back to Boston Airport and we get the radar upgrade, allowing us to locate a robot patrol. This patrol is very heavily armed and has tank robots. Honestly, that sounds really cool, but we have a nuclear arrow, and well, the devastation is a match made in heaven, since once again Ada has it installed, and now it's time to go to our next location. We have to go to the Rust Devil, so we board a vertibird, and when we arrive, we get the bow out and aim quite away. The sights mark the enemy and we shoot them. It's fantastically accurate and never gets old. Double shots are no longer a problem. Unlike the first video, we even get a triple kill and just go absolutely insane, since Ada draws the attention, allowing us to light up our target. It's actually quite a pretty potent combination, and Ada is a very good team member, and just for a laugh, she is now olive green and is like a fridge on tread, so go Ada. We hit level 33 and get the final rank at Ninja, so our sneak attacks are godlike now, making us the stealth archer of the waste. A robo brain called Jezebel's found and is being driven crazy. The internet can do very disastrous things, especially in the hands of some Rust Devils. We spring Jezebel free and she is now part of our crew, but we can't celebrate yet because a big robot guards this place. He doesn't realise that he gets a nuclear arrow that just destroys him in one hit, and I've got to admit, this feels so great. Other challenge runs just won't be the same, since one shot on everything from stealth is absolutely amazing. The Rust Devils are dealt with, and got to admit, they actually have a really nice setup here in their base, so fair play Rust Devils. Their leader, Ivy, has a Tesla rifle with some special T60 that increases energy damage, so that's pretty awesome. I may do a playthrough with that, but there's lots of goodies in here that we could do future runs with, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So with all this completed, it's now time to hone in on the Mechanist. So Ada does her thing and Jezebel wants a new body, so we head to the workshop again, build Jezebel a body, and since she's been stuck in a computer, might as well let her fly around with lasers and a pair of hands to break all of Ingram's stuff, so I'm sure Ingram will be thrilled with us. With all that sorted, it's time to install the MSAT on Ada and then go to the Mechanist lair, and oh boy, this is is it, the first part of our mission in clearing the Commonwealth, and it's actually quite close by, which is really nice. But this place isn't the easiest. Ada serves as a shield for us as we take everyone out, doing the usual. Thanks to Ada, and we give her a new body to be even more like a fridge. So there you go, Ada, well done. The Mechanist seems to love Looney Tunes and makes a thing of it with lots of flashy opening doors. Guess they got good taste, if anything else, and fair play. As we go through the Mechanist lair, it's simple. Sniping with the bow, nothing too bad, although the minute we get into direct combat, it goes south really quick. And as for the Mechanist fight, it's just not fun and is really tough. But eventually, after several retries and doing the Mechanist base over and over again, we just perch in a corner. And it turns out this is the optimum strategy. Just sit in a corner and let Ada do their thing and use our explosive arrows to great effect and decimate everyone. It works like a charm since the iBots don't like AoE and the bigger robots struggle to see us. So we just take them out and the place has a climactic battle, and like a rogue from D&D 5th edition, we just hide away from the fight, and after the fight, the Mechanist lets us in but then bugs out. So it leaves us with one option, and frankly not one Hawkeye would do, but we're left with no choice but to kill the Mechanist. At least one threat is done, Ultron isn't going to be created anytime soon, so task complete. We've hit level 35 thanks to completing all of this quest line, but we pretty much have no ammo, so we limp to the Pridwin, and after hauling our workshop materials and dropping them off, resupplying, we then limp some more. Night Captain Cade heals us up, we pet Emmett, the Killy, and we're all aboard the Vertibird to go to Nuka World. This is actually pretty exciting, and I've only done this once before, so we'll see how this all plays out. So, first things first, we wipe out the guards. Check. Second, clear anyone of any suspicious activity, like this man Harvey here. Check. And lastly, boarding the monorail and listening to an evil/raider monologue by Porter Gage. Check. We are a sentinel, so jobs like this are what we are meant for from the Brotherhood. So our first mission on this new operation is to run the Gauntlet, a obstacle course of sorts, which is a death trap made by raiders for raiders, but we are no raider. So we enter the Gauntlet, and the first part is turrets. Not too bad, it's just more of the same. And then the second part is not triggering traps, and due to sneak, that is easy peasy. But when combat actually starts, well, we just go ahead and just launch loads of explosive arrows into the Mirelurks. It was lovely knowing you guys, but we don't have time for you. Then the raiders decide to try and gas us. Guess they know how to make things stressful, but we turn all the valves down, get the items we need, and then open the door, and it wasn't half bad. You're gonna have to do better than that, raiders. Outside, there's a lot more raiders above us trying to find us between the mesh, and what we do is we just shoot through the chicken wire and sneak around, getting them shots in like an ace. Then we get Coulter. Coulter is a unique battle since we have to use the first zapper. There's no way around it, but fortunately we can give it a pass since it's Coulter and now Bo has the nuclear option. And well, Coulter didn't count on that now, and he's a smouldering wreck in one hit. It is really that devastating, hence we can only use one nuclear arrow at a time. Gage says we're now the overboss, which is great, but we're also a Sentinel, aka an Avenger, going with the Brotherhood of Steel. However, our goal here is to light up Nuka World, so with a plan in hand, it's time to get to work. Also, we have a character from Fallout New Vegas here, Sierra. She's a huge Nuka-Cola fan and gives us a tour of the place. She reminds us of the Nuka-Cade, going to have to go here for round 2 of the Poison Run. God help me with that challenge, it's quite something, but hey, we gotta do it. But after we meet back up with Gage and get started on his plan, he wants us to meet with the other leaders. Some are just outright villains, others like the operators are more like mercenaries, and then you got the pack who are wild animals. So yay, got a lot of party in there, I guess. Then he says that we have to go take the territories for them. So first up, we go to Galactic Zone. It's crawling with robots, so it's the Mechanist 2.0. But we move around and manage to get to grips with them very quickly, but they aren't half bad at wounding us, so touche, robots. We locate the command center and we need star cores. We find one nearby and the computer lets us see where they're all located. The quest requires 20 of them, but there's 35 in total, so it's our job to go get them. We can complete the area, assign a raider gang to it after the star cores are installed. First, we have the long lost cousin of Junktown Jerky Vendor, ladies and gentlemen, Scav issue. We get better chances at speech checks, very niche, but hey, it's here and it's kind of nice. We then go around with explosive arrows, as they're the only things that can really get the job done, and we grab a couple of star cores, but the enemies are certainly difficult. So after running around for a bit, we decide to go into the robot death arena, and explosive arrows are just a little overpowered against them, as I find out. The mechanist taught us well, since the robots show up and we just pancake them into the ground around the room, or in the sentry bot's case, an absolute inferno. We grab more star cores and level up, so we decide to get the big one, sneak rank 5. Distant enemies will now lose us, so we're a walking, talking stealth boy at this point. Combine this with ninja, it is very terrifying indeed. And hard to hand in the cores in from the robot arena, it's time for the next attraction in the theatre. And the same thing happens yet again. All the robots get pounced on and pancaked into the ground. There's also a message on the terminal to say a sentry bot was hired to be the barman and spent thousands on smashed glasses. Love this tidbit of lore, so we see the star attendant and just bulldoze everyone in the area, including him. With a few more star cores gained around the attractions, it's time to head to the main event, which is Nuka Galaxy, and this place was awesome since stealth just rules in the dark, and got to confess, I really didn't want to do this one. However, it actually turned out to be the easiest since we can just snipe the robots, no problem, sneak around undetected, and it just gets a little bit out of hand, quite frankly. And at the very end, we try on the Nuka Girl outfit. Well, it speaks for itself, quite frankly. The star control system gets fixed and we decide to put the operators in charge, since they say they're raiders but act more like gunners or mercenaries, so they can at least be reasoned with. First territory down, onto the second, and whilst the name Kitty Kingdom does sound like a location for a children's birthday party, Oswald is the life and soul of the party, and there's loads of painted ghouls with rad sprayers. These rad sprayers will just keep building our rads the longer we're here, so we need to stock up on rad away, and something amazing happened, ladies and gentlemen. A leopard print bandana showed up on a random raider. These things are the rarest bandana in Fallout 4, and we are totally taking it for dog meat, so the market gets absolutely terrified, and we go about our business. So with our flashy bandana, it's time to hit Oswald. This is going to be interesting since rads aren't great for us, but we go through the grounds getting ourselves more and more kills since Oswald keeps waffling away, taunting us, but we get into the funhouse complete with a mirror maze. Apart from the mirrors are filthy as heck. Even Oswald kind of has to agree with us there. The next room is lots of swirls. We turn off the motion sickness since don't want anyone watching the video getting dizzy now. And of course, we get another issue of Scav magazine, ladies and gentlemen. This one gives us 10% more hand-to-hand damage. But we get fire arrows in the next room just to demolish everything, because chaos and spinny things and fire, what could possibly go wrong? But once we get to the control room and get everything, including a new recipe for Nuka Cola, by the way, Oswald taunts us more. Dogmeat will get his bandana, damn it, so we're coming for you, Oswald. We try to turn off the rad sprayers and, well, Oswald kind of already thought of that. So we're running out of radiation supplies and we're barely alive, so we go back to Fizztop Mountain on foot to resupply, wearing our bandana, and before you ask, yes, I'm totally flexing with it, until someone else has, that's right, a second leopard print bandana. Never seen one before in Fallout, and there's two in this one playthrough. Todd has blessed us. Needless to say, Dogmeat and Clint are going to have matching bandanas, so it's worth the panic in the marketplace for a second time. Eventually, after our dastardly deeds, we do make it to the Cola Castle, where Oswald has unique powers and abilities. He can teleport and has the power to heal other ghouls just like a glowing one. We just wipe out the grunts, and as for Oswald, well, broadheads are the way to go. He's down almost instantly, so we just pretty much BS the fight with a sneak attack. We then go to the roof and, well, we have something really good for this. Storm arrows. We have 5 of them and they just take Oswald down a peg, since he respawns 3 times and it's instant death 3 times. As overboss, we are the law. The operators get yet another territory since they are the most reasonable group, and there's 3 more territories to go. We pack up, head back, and decide to grab ourselves some more damage upgrades and our final arrow. In the last video, we did use this against Kellogg, but we only had 1. Now we have 10, and in case you missed that video, these are storm tracking arrows. They basically act like guided missiles from our bow, a very Hawkeye thing to use, and why I originally named the character Clint Barton. Now we have these to play with, you bet your ass we're going to use them. Next up is the Wild West, or Dry Gulch, my favourite, and so we start getting our hands dirty. Dry Gulch is infested with bloodworms, but the bow is perfect to deal with them, since we can just one-shot them with regular broadheads. The protectrons in the area give us some questionable yet fun tasks, like finding the giddy-up buttercup in the trash, put back in the pen, serving drinks, that sort of thing, and we find a never-ending shotgun with unlimited ammo capacity. This run is certainly something else. After we get the safe combination, we get the mineshaft key, so time to go to the Mad Mulligan's mine. Inside the mine, well, we have lots of explosive arrows against the bloodworm, so it's absolutely beautiful. For the Bloodworm Queen, we use a storm tracking arrow, as it can't miss and pretty much just destroys everything in the area. Hawkeye style. Everything is chaotic and it's just really awesome and feels amazing. So once that's all done, we then decide to assign the pack to this area, since they have somewhere to call home. It just seems like somewhere they would love. Now we have the next area, which is the Safari Park. Tons of Gala Claws, litter the area, a variant of the Deathclaw, but stronger. So we bring the heavy hitting nuclear arrow. We only have 1 of these, and as I said in part 1, carrying more is just simply overpowered, so we're stuck with just using the single one. Gentleman rules aside though, the Gator Claws are falling, but if they catch us, we're as good as dead. After killing a throng of these Frankenstein creations, we get a small trailer. Once inside, we have a quick search and a password is found. I remember this from my first time in Nuka World a few years ago. Sito then says about the big triangle house, which he means is the welcome center. So we go in there and look inside, and it's lots of Gala Claws about. I think at this point, it's confirmed we're Hawkeye, and with these things, we don't even have to aim, which is absolutely bonkers. Now we have to finish off the Gala Claws, and I'd like to see Preston do this, but he's still in Sanctuary. At least Elder Maxim will certainly approve of his Sentinel wiping out these creatures. And yeah, we're doing fantastic here, but when we go to Sito, we have to be the bearer of bad news. We tell him he has to move out, and hopefully he can find a home, and if not, I'm sure we can use our clout to help him out in the main Commonwealth. But with the gang assigned, and surprise the pack are getting assigned here as it fits their needs, and they don't really need to leave if they don't want to. But we've hit level 49, and it's at this point levels really don't mean much other than mid-maxing, so we pretty much got all the perks we could want, and like I said, this is one of the most overpowered runs to date, and we're beginning to be a boss of sorts in Fallout. So watch out, Frank Horrigan, you really don't want to mess with this muley, as you would say. Recurve in hand, it's time to go to the bottling plant, and well, the game now is a cakewalk at this point. Nuka Lurks, aka the big brother of the Mirelurks, can't fathom our explosive arrows. Then the Mirelurk hunter shows up, and we run away to the rooftop of the exhibit, and when they lose us, we decide just artillery shell them with an explosive arrow, and it seals the deal right there. After all the enemies have been dealt with inside the bottling plant, we head to the rooftop. Mirelurk Kings are here, but they are taken down with 1 shot, since sneak attack is amazing. Then we see their leader, Her Majesty, the Mirelurk Queen. We decide, hell with it, and we'll do a multi-kill with all her Nuka Lurks down below, so they all get broadheads to the face, and the Mirelurk Queen does not like that her minions are gone, so Her Majesty decides poison is the answer. But we do a Batman because we've had prep time, and we take some Med X that gives us a boost to poison resistance. We then run off, fire a Storm Tracer arrow to dethrone her from the Nuka bottling plant, along with the last of her royal minions. Storm tracking arrows really are one of the most overpowered things in Fallout 4. Dear lordy. But then the operators get to take point in this territory since they are the most reasonable, and the pack have an area they can call home as well, leaving the disciples to bite the dust. Exactly what we want for calling us a good little overboss. But Gage wants us to start taking the Commonwealth, and the operators do need a base, so we decide to give them a neutral settlement. It's the least we could do for them, but they only get 1 settlement, as we don't want them to infest the Commonwealth with crime. And we do need to do this for the main quest in Nuka World, so it's a necessary evil. However, we grabbed the most important thing in the wasteland, dog meat. And of course, we give him his leopard print bandana, and he is just so fluffy and cute, as he always is. We even gets to ride in the vertibird with us, since he is now Knight Dog Meat. We're a sentinel, we can just field promote him, I guess. The settlement in question is filled with Child of Atom, one less problem for the Brotherhood to deal with, so all is good. We put in the basics, and most importantly, the brewery setup. And we quickly pay a settlement, since it's kind of the most fair option to getting them to supply us, and we report on back, no blood spilled, and a Child of Atom base foiled, so all is good on paper. A rival boss then wants to talk to us, and well, he triggers some minds because he's a doofus, and we decide he's not harming anyone, so storm arrows in their faces it is, and like I said, these things are just ridiculously overpowered. After this, we take a couple more settlements, and when that is done, we get the big bad news. The disciples have turned on us. Oh no, but despite them being creepy and being standard villains, we vertibird it once again to Nuka World. I'm actually running out of these vertibird grenades because we're travelling so much, but we go to the power plant to confront Nisha with the other bosses, and it's a simple sneak and sweep. The others distract and dispatch, so when we meet Nisha, and I've got to hand it to her, she ate not one, but 2 explosive arrows to the face. But we kill her, and well, Nuka-Cola World lights up with fireworks, Dog Meat is here with our matching bandanas, and then, once all that's done, the fireworks are over, we then talk to Gage, and he says the pack and operators are under our command, putting an end to the bloodshed for now, and as for Clint, we get 2 additional perks, and with that, it's the end of the run, answering the question, can you beat Nuka-Cola World as a stealth archer? And yeah, of course you can, it's a stealth archer, what did you expect? There we go, a 2-parter with the Stealth Archer. Gotta say, it was such a laugh and really enjoyed it. It was probably in the top 3 most powerful runs on this channel, at least in the Fallout verse. Really, the damage just got insane, and once we got access to explosive arrows and many wonderful toys, you have to put a limit on things and a gentleman's agreement, since nuclear arrows are just too ridiculous. Storm arrows can't be retrieved, but it just makes you press the auto win button against enemies, and yeah, it's a really fun challenge. But as for our next challenge, we are going to go to XCOM 2 once again. We're going to do a single Templar run to see how that plays out, since faction classes usually struggle a little, but it's commander level difficulty and we're going to be put through our paces, so hope you enjoy that. Also, if you got this far in the video, like the video if you like the video, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. But even if you want to comment and say hi, that's cool as well. So you probably know the drill by now, and as always, thank you so much for watching, you lovely people. Please look after yourselves, you're all beautiful, you're all wonderful, and have a pleasant day and a fantastic night. And wherever you're in the world, I hope you have an amazing time. And of course, I'll see you guys in XCOM 2. So long, take care, and this is Insane Frame, signing out. Take care everyone, and have a wonderful time.